Tell me about that whole situation and just discovering your cancer.
Yeah, so I was, I want to say about 37 weeks pregnant, and I just had this sharp pain. I thought it was maybe a pinched nerve due to the baby sitting up too high. And so my first attempt to understand what was going on was to go to the hospital, to the ER room in the middle of the night. And I sat there actually for about 6 hours and was not seen. So I went back home and I took a bath and didn't know that heat would irritate my pain, but it was, and it was just my only solution at that time. I gave birth to my son, and for about 2 weeks I didn't have any pain. The pain went away. I was like, okay, maybe it was a pinched nerve. And then one night I just couldn't breathe at all. So I went to CMC hospital, went to the ER, and was looked at immediately. And that's when they gave me the diagnosis of, hey, it's not a pinched nerve, it's actually stage 4 lung cancer, and you have a fractured rib because the mass is sitting on that rib, on my right lung. So they did the biopsy, they sent me back home, they called me back, and we just started the process with everything and trying to understand what was the cause, what my treatment would look like. And so now we're here with a genetic mutation, which has spared me from traditional chemo and has allowed me to take a targeted chemo pill called Tagrisso. And that just targets the spread, the lesions in my brain, and then my mass on my right lung.
When you got the news that you have cancer as a new mom, what was that like?
Oh, that was really hard. I think that's still a huge struggle I have, thinking about just my kids. I think I've come to peace with the diagnosis, but in a way as a mother, I think it just hits different. It's very sad to have 2 babies, and then, something could happen when I, least expected. So that's been really hard, but I pray a lot, and I've seen these little miracles that he's given me to keep fighting and to keep positive and to educate my children, even if they're so young, to my friends, my peers, anyone regarding, vaping or smoking and what it could really cause at the end. But I was a huge smoker in my 20s. I started in my 20s and during college, and then right before pregnancies I was smoking. I think when you're young you think you're untouchable, and really not understanding the consequences until they actually come. It's just, you're like, wow, I can't believe vaping did this to me. Is I'm at stage 4 and I could die at any time because of, me just smoking and or vaping. And even if it's 1 hit a day, it's still, anything you inhale in your lungs is so bad for you. So I didn't understand that while I was doing it, and now the consequences, I understand why it is so bad for you. Look up exactly what you are smoking, because you're smoking chemicals, and anything that you inhale is bad. Even if it's, the gasoline that you smell at the gas station, that's still bad for you. So imagine smoking an actual battery or substance in a cigarette bud that has a lot of chemicals in it. I mean, you might not think it or even feel what you're smoking. That could create a small cancer cell to start growing, but it is causing your lungs some type of harm. Yeah.
When you found out it was vaping, or even when you found out about your diagnosis and that you had to quit, especially in such a stressful and scary time, how were you able to do that?
Oh, immediately. I was very scared. I think when you do get scared from a diagnosis that is so life-threatening, you're right then and there, I'll do whatever I need to do. So that immediately stopped. I think, obviously, smoking for so long, you have those cravings, but I think now saying, okay, I can't smoke because I could die, that's, and understanding what smoke can do to your lungs, I washed my hands with that one, and I'm moving forward. And the first day of treatment, we didn't know if it was a genetic mutation, so I was actually prepared to do traditional chemo to start my first day of chemo. Like I said, I was at peace with everything. It's just very new, right? So I didn't know what to expect. And as soon as I went into the doors, through the doors, the nurses came up to me and said, "Hey, you have a genetic mutation. You're spared from traditional chemo. We get to go through this treatment plan." I wrote down. It was the best news, even though it might be so small to have, to be spared from traditional chemo, but it felt really good to know that I don't have to go through maybe such a hardship now to get rid of this or to keep it stable, that a simple pill every day and just keeping a healthy diet and lifestyle, can help the cancer. Since the first day that I was diagnosed, I just had wonderful people around me. The nurses, the doctors, everyone has been so loving and genuine and very caring, and also just puts a smile on my face a lot. The nurses, every time I get even just one shot or my blood drawn for the day, they're always interacting, asking about my family, how I'm doing, and so they have inspired me to become a nurse, and so I'm currently in nursing school and hopefully can work in an oncology office and help, bring positivity or outlook on their situation. So that's the CMC team has done for me, is really take a step forward in helping others as well.